Welcome to a new lesson where you are going to understand the collision domain and broadcast domain. So, as someone learning networking or someone preparing for a CCNA, these two concepts are the prerequisites that you must have as a must know. There's no debate around it. You have to understand when we talk about collision domain and when we talk about broadcast domain. Collision domain basically happens when we have help device connecting end devices. What do I mean? Let me illustrate it with a scenario for you to understand. Let's assume we have a help as a network device with the interfaces, and then these three interfaces are going to connect the end devices. These are the PC, the three PCs, okay, and we can name them A, B, and C. So what happens with the herb because of the collision domain is that when A is communicating with B, B cannot communicate with C at the same time. B and C have to wait before they initiate any type of communication. When A is done, B can now take over or C can take over. But when A is sending to B, B cannot send to C. It's not possible. At the same time, C cannot send to A because the interfaces of the herb, okay, are designed in such a way that they can only send at once. They cannot send and receive. Okay, they are not meant to operate on full duplex. They are meant to operate on half duplex. So they can only send. They cannot send and receive at the same time. This is what creates what the collision. Think of a road, okay? Think of a road. So this is a road which is one way. So on this road, cars are allowed to go on only one direction at a time. It could be they are going from my left to my right, or they are coming from my right to my left. It depends. So let's just take a scenario of from left to right. In this case, in any situation whereby cars are moving from my left to my right, and other cars or a car coming from my right towards my left, what will happen is that the cars will collide in the middle. So we have something we call collision. The same thing happens over here. The reason why the collision will happen on this type of road because the road is not designed to accommodate two vehicles or many vehicles coming on opposite directions or coming on both direction. The same thing happens over here. A herb is a very stupid device, let me put it in that way. And what it does is that it broadcasts information to everybody. So the fact that all end devices are in one collision domain, when A sends a message to B, B will receive the message and C will receive the message at the same time. So the disadvantage is that there is no secret. So you cannot just send a message which is meant for C. B will be aware of what you have sent. B cannot send a message which is meant for only C. What will happen is that A will also receive the message. So this network device is obsolete. It's no longer being used. But when you're learning, you need to know, some of the information because you might be somewhere and then questions will pop up related, collision domain. You have to be able to explain when we talk about collision domain and when we talk about broadcast domain. So with the herb, as I said, we have one collision domain and then we have one broadcast domain. So if you are given this topology and then the question is asked to identify the number of collision domain and broadcast domain and this topology, what you will say is that this topology contains one collision domain and one broadcast domain. And another information you have to also keep is that the interfaces of the herb operate in a half duplex. Half duplex means they cannot send and receive at the same time. If it is done so, there will be what? A collision. So a type of communication that herb can support is that one device can only communicate at a time. Two or more cannot communicate simultaneously. There will be collision, there will be crashes. And then when there's a collision, it's what it brings the network down, stops the communication from happening. Same way as this illustration. If there's any accident over here, would the cars coming on either direction move on? No, they can't, because something is blocking the road. And it also reduces the performance of the road. Even if the car is coming from one side, the space wouldn't be enough to accommodate more vehicles to pass. The same thing happens over here. So this is the mode on which the interfaces of the herb operate, and knowing fully that this type of topology has one collision domain and one broadcast domain. And also the bandwidth of the interfaces, the fact that they're all in one collision domain, in this scenario, the bandwidth is a bandwidth shared bandwidth. So the interfaces share what? Bandwidth. So this is the scenario where we can talk about collision domain. Collision domain happens when two devices cannot communicate at the same time. It's either one waits for the other to finish communicating before it takes over, or the communication will collide, and then the network will just stop working because no communication will go on. This is what I wanted to share with you about collision domain. If the video has been informative, kindly let me know in the comment section below. If you also have any question related collision domain, kindly let me know in the comment section below. I'll be glad to read and respond to your comment. Thanks for watching. Share the video, subscribe if it's not yet done, to boost us to have more videos, create more content related networking. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.